As your leader and son, I must speak the truth about a looming constitutional storm. As a country, we are staring at a massive legal crisis where the 2027 election could be nullified before it even begins.
Welcome back to Havana Media, and tonight we turn our focus to a warning that could reshape Kenya's political future. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has raised alarm over what he calls an impending constitutional storm, arguing that unless urgent legal reforms are undertaken, the country could walk into the 2027 general election on shaky constitutional ground.
There is an imperative need for a constitutional review 15 years after the promulgation of the 2010 Katiba. As your leader and son, I must speak the truth about a looming constitutional storm. As a country, we are staring at a massive legal crisis where the 2027 election could be nullified before it even begins. Our 2010 Constitution demands boundaries review every 8 to 12 years. Our deadline was March 6th, 2024. We have passed it. We are now in a period of constitutional non-compliance. Here is the catch. You cannot have a boundary review without a valid national census. The 2019 census was nullified in 3 counties, namely Mandera, Wajir, and Garissa. The court ordered a mini census for the 3 counties to be conducted by January 2026, yani mwezi goes up. So, here are the issues. The census deadlock here is that a patchwork census mixing 2019 data with 2026 data is a legal impossibility. There will be no valid population data. Therefore, it means that no valid boundaries, and subsequently, no valid boundaries mean no valid election.
Musalia Mudavadi says that Kenya is already in a state of constitutional non-compliance, particularly on the issues of electoral boundaries. He points to the failure to carry out a proper boundary review within the timelines set by the Constitution, warning that this gap opens the door for legal challenges. According to him, any election conducted without resolving these issues risks being challenged in court, with the real possibility of nullification before or even after the vote. But at the heart of his argument is the census and boundary delimitation process.
Notably, the structural bottlenecks is that our population has exploded, yet we are trapped in Article 89(4) of the Constitution that limited us to 290 constituencies only. Without a constitutional amendment, the IBC cannot give high-growth areas the representation they deserve.
Mudavadi notes that disputed census results and delayed reviews have created a legal vacuum, making it difficult for the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, to conduct a waterfront election.
I think this election we can also use as the first election where we can have some critical constitutional issues that have never been resolved. We can have a referendum going side by side. If you can vote for 6 people on one ballot paper, I think we are now mature enough to include maybe 2 or 3 constitutional issues that can be dealt with, so that as Kenyans we move forward, because we don't want to have arguments constantly on some issues that we know. Some of the issues that were canvassed in the NADCO report, and there's now debate about Why aren't we implementing the NADCO report? Why haven't you done this in the context of... Some of those issues require a constitutional amendment. I think this is the time. You want public participation. What would be the biggest public participation?
Well,
that defeats a referendum. And I can tell you, two things will happen. First, we'll solve issues that our parliament has been unable to resolve. Two, we will get a higher voter turnout. If Kenyans can go to a booth and not even voter assisted,
yes,
and they make a decision on 6 candidates.
This, he says, is why Kenya must confront these constitutional questions head-on rather than postponing them and gambling with the legitimacy of the 2027 polls. But now, to resolve this, Mudavadi is proposing a national referendum, describing the moment as unavoidable. He argues that a referendum would help clean up constitutional contradictions, address boundary issues, and possibly anchor key development funds in the constitution. Supporters see this as a necessary safeguard for democracy, while critics even warn it could be reopen divisive national debates and severe political interests.
We all agree, the issues that were raised in the NADCO report. Most of them, of course, are referendum questions. I mean, do we really need to do a referendum and then we do a general election separately? No.
In a pure presidential system, you cannot have a leader of opposition in the House. Neither can you have a leader of opposition within the executive under our constitutional order. Neither can it be one amorphous office that is just hanging neither in the executive nor within the within the parliamentary system. Popular initiative is any proposal which could just be a proposal or a draft bill must be supported by 1 million people. And then after the 1 million people, you go to IEBC for verification. And then IEBC will conduct a referendum on those issues. If you go to a referendum, then at least 20% of the registered voters in at least half of the counties must turn out and vote. And then it is passed by simple majority. Unlike the situation in Parliament where it has to be 2/3 majority. But you also go through the county assemblies, which also pass it by simple majority.
So now, as we wind up here at Havana Media, the big question remains, is Kenya being possibly prepared for the 2027 election, or are these warnings a political strategy disguised as constitutional concern? Make sure that you share your thoughts in the comment section. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell for more updates. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Oduor Billy. Stay tuned.